Hello, I know I've been a stranger. I apologise. I haven't been around because I've just sort of, how can I put it, lost my mojo. Another way to put it, I kind of been wanting to do videos, been wanting to do podcasts, and haven't sort of had the, I don't know, I just haven't had it. I haven't been feeling it. So I apologise for that because, you know, it's nothing worse than a YouTuber who doesn't YouTube. But I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm trying to sort of make my videos maybe more interesting or something. I'm not really quite sure. But anyway, I digress. Hope you're well. Hope you haven't done anything that you shouldn't do. I haven't done much, really. Just life. I've just been doing life. And real life does tend to get in the way occasionally, as we all know. So, yeah, I apologise. I'm going to try and get back on with my videos and everything as normal, but I think I'm struggling because I've put myself under a bit of pressure with having times, like giving myself a time frame. Like I know a lot of YouTubers do, you know, you've got to have a schedule and all of that stuff. I struggle with that a little bit because I feel like then I'm under pressure to have it done by a certain day, because then I've got to edit, and editing itself can take an hour or so more. And then the actual encoding of the videos and everything else, they can take hours and hours. And it might only be a 20-minute long video, but it can take hours. And I know, like, you know, a lot of other YouTubers do 2-3 more videos a week. Please don't expect that from me, because you ain't gonna get it. Also, because I'm trying to do my podcast now too, I have to admit I'm finding that easier, in the sense that you're literally just recording your voice and you're not having to edit anything. And it's literally record, upload, boom, all done in the same hour or whatever. Whereas videos take so much longer, and although I love doing them, the editing and the encoding part of it sort of puts me off a bit, I suppose. And that's probably why I've not had the mojo to do it. But I'm back. She's back. Anyway, today I'm going to upload a video it's a podcast, and I've spoken about it before on my YouTube. It's a podcast of when I was a guest on a paranormal podcast. This was like a few weeks ago now, and I've just recently uploaded that podcast to my podcast because Tommy was really kind enough to share it with me. So you can listen to it over in my podcast. Anywhere you go, grab your podcast, you'll be able to find me. I will put my links and stuff in the description below, so you can find me everywhere. Anyway, so I'm going to use that, and I'm doing a video of the podcast, so don't expect to see me sitting there talking. You will hear me, but not visually see me. So instead, you will visually see some Photoshops that I've put together to try to make the visuals a bit more, because it's YouTube, make it a little bit interesting. I'm making visuals to go with what I'm talking about. So yeah, there you go. There you have it. I'm waffling, as I do. Enjoy, and, you know, I'll speak to you again after the podcast, but enjoy yourself. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and yeah, enjoy it. So let's do it. See you later.
Something's in your room, you can't move, you can't speak. It's a horrible feeling.
You know, you're looking out into the darkness and then you see a figure, but it's darker than the darkness.
I just get this like really creepy feeling, and I see this like shadowy, demon-looking figure in the front seat of the car.
She used to come into my room at night and stand right by my bed, and I just was petrified.
I remember I saw something fly by my bedroom window. We heard the bathroom door shut. So then we looked out my bedroom window down the hallway, and the bathroom door was wide open.
So we came around the bend and we saw eye shine. This thing stood up. I mean, it stood up, and it had high pointed ears. It had a snout, had a long arm, and it grabbed the deer.
Okay, guys, I am very excited to welcome our next guest to Let's Get Freaky podcast. We've got Nicky with us today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Excellent.
Awesome stuff. Now, you're from the UK. What
Yeah.
part of the UK are you in?
I'm like in Bedfordshire, in a little
okay.
village in Bedfordshire, yeah.
Nice, cool. You're not too far. I'm in Dorset.
Oh, right.
We're not too far.
Not too far, that's quite far.
How far is it? My geography's terrible.
Oh, it's quite far. I mean, Dorset is sort of now down by Devon, isn't it? And that.
Yeah,
So
I'm about 2 hours from Devon.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Probably about a couple of hours drive from here to where you are.
Yeah. Okay. I need to get focused on my geography.
Oh, no.
I know where London and Dorset is, and then
Yeah, I suppose I'm about well, now I'm probably about 3/4 of an hour away from London.
Okay, cool. Well,
Something like that.
I'm from London originally. Well, from Essex, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm an Essex boy.
Typical Essex boy.
Yeah, I know. So you've got your own YouTube channel. You've got your own podcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my YouTube channel, I started only not that long ago, actually, a few months ago. And I started it because I was kind of like, I like watching reaction videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I was watching them and that, I was sort of thinking, well, you know, I could do that, as you do.
Yeah.
So I kind of started off with reaction videos in mind, and that's what I started it all out with. But I kind of like, I think some of the videos I've watched, like on YouTube and stuff, other platforms, I've seen that some of them are really fake, and it's hard not to give that reaction across on a YouTube channel. I know you've got to give your reaction, do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's sort of hard not to give your negative reaction too much, because I don't want people to think I'm putting them down or anything like that. But I'm a real sort of what's the word? I'll say it how it is. Sort of, I'm that sort of person.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to be a bit careful, if you like, with my reaction videos. So I sort of like then turned around and started posting shorts and that. It was just like I go dog walking with my dogs, and I was posting shorts of the dog walks here and there and whatever. And people seem to like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could kind of mix the two together. So that's why I sort of like decided to do that and mix them both together, because it just, well, you know, it's something different, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I do now. I do gaming as well, like I do horror games and that sort of thing. So awesome. I do that on, you know, recording them as well. So yeah, so that's what I do at the moment. And then I just started a Spotify and I think it's Apple podcast, just because I thought it's, again, something I wanted to try. So I've only done a couple of them so far, but you know.
That's cool. Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. I'll share all the links, obviously, in the show description, so people can find your YouTube channel and your podcast.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cool stuff. I think as well, when you were saying about when you put something on YouTube or wherever you put something, I put videos on a lot and stuff on all social media. You sort of have to expect that you're going to get some criticism.
Yeah.
I think if you put stuff out there and think, if a lot of people are going to see it, you're going to get some criticism. But it doesn't bother me too much.
No, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I've actually been fairly lucky. I've not had any sort of real negative stuff said about any of my videos yet.
Yeah.
I mean, people might say behind my back, of course, but you know, I think most of them are rubbish anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it don't bother me like you say. It's one of them things like orthodox back in it.
Yeah.
So,
If I get a negative comment on something, I always just like it. I just give them a like, and that's it.
That's it. The best way to do it, or a little thumbs up or whatever.
Cool. I'll take it. Nice.
Little smiley face.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
And I think that winds them up more sometimes.
It does. Yeah, it really, really does.
Because they want other people want a reaction, don't they? So
yeah,
that's why they say horrible things.
Yeah, they want an argument and stuff, and I can't be doing that on the internet.
No, not at all. No,
life's too short for that nonsense.
100%, 100%. No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome what you do. Keep up the great work. Keep doing it because it's awesome.
Oh well, I'm trying. I mean, I've had sort of like a little bit of a break, because you know where kind of like life gets in the way a little bit, and also I think the internet can get a bit full on sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think when you're doing YouTube videos, especially, you've got to keep to a schedule, don't you? Same as you with your podcast. You have to keep to a schedule, so at least once a week or whatever else. And I was finding it a bit difficult because obviously I'm trying to mix it up with my videos a little bit. I don't want to be doing the same thing all the time when people get bored. So I didn't want to just do all reaction videos. So again, I was trying to change it up and doing gaming and stuff as well. And then obviously in between, like doing dog walking and whatever else. But it's finding the time to fit it all in. Yeah. Because obviously I go out and I do my dog walks. I'm out for like a couple of hours with my dogs and whatever. And I can't always record when I'm walking because I've got 2 big dogs. So trying to hold them both while you're recording, it's not that easy.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. I've got a little Staffy, and he is hard work. I feel your pain. He alone is hard work for me. So
they're amazing. No, Staffies are great. I used to have a Staff before.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they're wonderful dogs.
Good family dogs. Good with the kids. Yeah, great with the kids.
Definitely, they just have a bad rep. But it's like any dog, and it's like Serena's not the dog.
That's it. You can turn any dog nasty and make any dog aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I've got my dogs now. So I've got a Labrador, he's a black Labrador, and I've got my other dog. She's a cross Labrador. Her mum was a cross Labrador. She was a cross Labrador, and God, I can't think. I can never remember the name when people ask what it is.
You're like me. I'm terrible with names.
It's a bull breed, but it's not Staffy. I can't think what the hell it's called now. But she was crossed with these 2, her mum, and then her dad was an American Bulldog. So
cool.
She's sort of quite big, and
Yeah,
but then
lovely.
saying that, my Labrador's bigger than her. He's really, really big for a lab.
Yeah. I love dogs.
I do.
They are my weakness.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. They're my biggest love. Do you know what I mean? I love them. Couldn't be without them.
Oh, for sure.
That's why another reason why I wanted to sort of incorporate them into my videos.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Spend loads of time with them, so why not?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Most people like dogs, don't they? So can't go wrong.
I don't know about you, but if you're watching a film and it's a sad film about a dog, that gets me. I can watch all films and not get upset, but if something bad happens to a dog in a film,
definitely, 100%.
like Marley and Me and films like that, oh my God, I'm a wreck.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can watch humans die every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
A dog or any animal, it's like, no, I can't deal.
I know, like tearing up, like, I'm not crying.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave me alone. All right.
Sorry, my Siri's just turned itself on. Don't know why it's done that.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. My Siri just came on then.
Oh,
got a bit excited.
Said something.
So when it comes to the paranormal, because that's ultimately how I found you.
Yeah.
Where did that start for you?
To be honest, it's like been a thing since I was little. It's in my family, put it that way. My nan's sister was a psychic medium. And
wow.
Back in the day, like, when my mum was young, she was a very well-known psychic medium, and she was very good. Apparently, I didn't know her, obviously. She was very good at what she did. And my nan's told me so many different things. And my nan was frightened of her a bit. Not frightened of her, but frightened of the things that she used to sort of say. Like when they were children, like obviously back in that sort of time, think times were really hard. Like kids used to have to sleep in the same bed and stuff together, because they couldn't afford to also keep warm and things like that. So it's kind of like my nan would be sleeping in the bed with her sisters, and her sister would turn around and say to her in the night, like, oh, she'd be talking to someone. She'd be like, what are you doing? What, and she'd be like, oh, so and so's here or whatever. And my nan would freak out. She didn't like it at all. But yeah, so it's kind of been a big thing in my family, It's something I've always been surrounded by, and it's, I think I'm quite open to that sort of stuff anyway. Personally, I can sense things, and so I don't know. I mean, I've never sort of looked into it further, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm a bit more sort of spiritually there, if you know what I mean, than some people.
Yeah,
So,
I think you find that it's sort of it does sort of sometimes come in the family, like
definitely.
So that was your great grandmother, was it? Sorry.
That my nan's sister.
Oh, okay.
So it was her. She was the psychic medium, but obviously, like I say, my nan didn't really like it, but she had to sort of deal with it. And then, so it's sort of all in my family. And then there's my aunt, and she's quite psychic as well. So, I think, like I say, it's because it's literally in the family, and it's something I've always grown up with, and that's something I've always really been interested in. It's one of them things, that fascinates me. I'm fascinated by stuff like that. So I've always been into it, right from way back when, even when, like, Most Haunted, when that first came on the telly. Oh my God, I was all over it. Do you know what I mean? All over it, like it was great, because that was the newest thing, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah,
when
it was
first
great.
Came out.
Yeah, Derek Acora.
So, Derek Acora.
Yeah,
Derek Acora, Yvette, and all that. Yeah, I mean, I loved it at the time. I haven't watched it for ages, to be fair. I think they've got a YouTube channel now rather than.
I think they're still
going.
Know if
they're on the telly anymore.
No.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know.
So I used to watch. They used to do the live events, didn't they? They used to like that.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I mean, they did crazy. One. A couple. I don't know if it's this year or last. Not this year, obviously. Sorry. I don't know if it's last year or year before. I watched one because they do it on their YouTube live on Halloween, and I did watch that one. It was actually quite sort of took me back in time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Think, oh my God, it's been years since I watched this, but that's sort of. I used to love that sort of thing. I was all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's what brought me into it, really. It's just in the family, and it's just something that I've sort of grown up with, I suppose.
Yeah. So have you had any experiences yourself?
Yeah, I have. Well, a few times actually, but the main one being when we used to rent house quite a few years ago now, and where we live, the house was like, I think it was built in around the 1940s or something like that. So it's an older house, a proper house, I call it, because these new builds now are like throwing up bits of cardboard and that.
Yeah.
So it's a proper house. And in the house, at that time I was single, and I also had my daughter, and she was only 5 years old when we moved in there. So you should imagine she's only small. And I remember moving in, and that day my mum and dad had helped me move everything in and put some curtains up in the living room, all that sort of stuff for me. And they went home. It got dark. I don't know what time. It went late, but it got sort of a bit dark. I put my daughter to bed, and I was just washing up cups in the kitchen. And I didn't have any curtains or anything up in the kitchen, because the kitchen was at the back of the house and the window was into the back garden. So I was down there washing up. And when it's dark outside and light in, you're indoors and it's light, you can see your own reflection, because it's obviously darkness. You can't see anything outside. I could see myself in the window, and I was sort of washing up, and I just sort of glanced up at the window. And at that time, in my kitchen, the door was behind me. My back was to the door, but for some strange reason, this house had like a half door, like a stable type door. It had one of those on the key. I don't know why, but it did. And I looked up and I saw this. There was somebody standing behind the door, and I was just like, oh my God, I had to look and look again. And I turned around. When I turned around, there was nobody there. But I know it was like not my daughter, because she'd only barely see over this little door thing, and she was in bed, and it was a full-grown adult. So from that moment, I was just like, whoa, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So I kind of like abandoned cups, went to bed. Well, let's just leave that, you know. But after that, it was like just everything happened after that. Like that house was the only house I've lived in that was 100% haunted. I mean, but it never made me feel scared. At first it did, because it freaked me out, because I was a bit like, whoa, what, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember like there was things like I heard people calling my name, say if I was upstairs. Like I remember one particular time I was getting ready to go out. My mum and dad had my daughter around their house, and so I was on my own in my house, apart from with my dog. And we was upstairs, because I'd just been getting changed. I was going out, and I was drying my hair, and I could hear my mum shouting upstairs, calling me. And I was thinking, what? So I turned my, thought she popped round again, turned my hair off, went to the top of the stairs, and I shouted down, Mum, sort of, what do you want, sort of thing, and nothing. And I thought, okay, that's weird. So I went downstairs, looked around. She weren't anywhere to be seen. And I thought, wow. Okay, perhaps she called up and said, oh, I'll speak to you later, and and went. That's what I thought. So I carried on drying my hair. Again, it happened again, and I was just like, okay, this is really weird now. So I went downstairs, had another look around. Anybody there. So I phoned up my mate and I said, I'm coming round yours to get changed. And I just abandoned everything, went round hers, took a dog. Come on, let's go around here. And that freaked me out, because I thought, well, hang on a minute, that's weird. And I weren't imagining it. I could definitely hear it. So yeah, that was weird. And then from after that, loads of times the same sort of thing happened, loads of times. But in the meantime, a couple of years later, sort of thing, I'd met my husband, and we had a son. So he was only little, but he used to be able to hear someone calling him as well. So that was weird. Yeah. So it weren't just me, it was sort of like, but it always was a voice that you recognised, you know? So it was like, first of all, it's my mum, and then I'd be, say, in the shower, having a shower, in that house, because it was an old house, it was a downstairs bathroom. So I was in the shower, and I could hear my husband calling me. So I'm shouting out, what do you want, sort of thing. And nothing. No. When I come out, I said to him, what were you calling me for? I won't call in you. What are you talking about? He's gone. Wow. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really weird. But then he heard the same thing. He thought it was me calling him, and we weren't. None of us were calling each other. But
so you're all experiencing
it's so
this.
Weird. Yeah, we all experienced the same thing there. Yeah. Wow. And my daughter sort of like, when she was young, she used to be talking to someone in her bedroom all the time, and we sort of said to her one day, who are you talking to? Because we thought, oh, she's got an imaginary friend, oh, it's Dennis. And I was like, Dennis? Who the hell's Dennis? And she's like, it's just a man that I talk to. And I was like, okay. And we thought, oh, right, that's a bit weird. But kids are kids, so you kind of think, perhaps they have got an imaginary friend. You don't know, do you? Could be Dennis Menace for you, know. So it was kind of like, we just sort of brushed it off a bit. And then when my son was like little, he was sort of just walking a baby, he used to point upstairs and say, look, all the time. And we'd look, and there'd be nothing there. It's like, what are you looking at? Look. And stand there for ages pointing, going, look. And my dog, wow. I mean, again, a dog would not be left in the house. He hated being left in the house. So much so that we had in the kitchen and the back door, we had a PVC door, and he jumped, because he was a little stuffy, and he used to jump up back door if I go out without him. I really didn't often go out without him, but if I did, he used to jump up the door to look out the window, and you could hear him scraping his foot along the door as he was jumping up. And if you sort of rub it so much over time, you get to see the metal underneath, if you know what I mean. It was like that. There was a patch where he jumped up so much. Wow. So it was obviously, he did not like being in the house. And it's just so bizarre. We was just a bit like, whoa, okay, this is a bit weird. But then, there'd be things like our driveway used to be in our back garden as well. So you come in the car, drive on the drive, shut the gates. And then I remember one day, and I come home from work, and I looked up at the house, just glanced up at the house, and there was somebody standing in the hallway looking out the window. And I was just like, oh my God, now it's a double look, because obviously everyone else is at school and at work. And I was just like, what? So I was a bit sort of nervous about going in then. Yeah. But I did go in, had a good look round, nobody, I couldn't see anybody there or anything. So yeah, there was like quite a few different things that went on in that house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like sort of tip of the iceberg stuff, really.
Wow.
I mean, obviously there was like other things. I'd seen figures a few times, and I used to smell cigarette smoke a lot. And I didn't smoke.
Wow.
Well, my husband never smoked, you know. So you know when somebody just lights a cigarette up and it's got that strong smell straight away, it's that smell, as if someone just lit up side of you, you know, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Wow.
It was really odd. And even to things like, my husband was wearing a course one day, and so I was talking to him on the phone. It was in the evening, and I was sat in the living room and I was talking to him on the phone, and all of a sudden I just had this really big sense of smell of TCP, you know, the antiseptic stuff. And I said about it to him, and he's like, that's a bit weird. I was like, I know, it's so odd. And within seconds it had gone again. So it's like really little weird things like that. You just think, what?
Yeah.
How? Where's that come from, you know?
Wow.
And I suppose because back then it was sort of early 2000s, and everyone had camcorders, didn't they? You know, I didn't have one, but my dad had one, so I asked to borrow it one night so I could set it up in the living room just to see if anything, you know. And obviously back then I had the internet, but I didn't have YouTube, or it weren't as big then and things like that. So I just set up this camera one night and I put it on. We had like a bookcase and I stood it on top. I just set it to record. It had night vision and whatever, so I set it to record. And you didn't see anybody, but the camera itself literally turned itself around as if someone had pushed it. And we was like, oh my God, you know, and it was just like, we were so shocked. we didn't expect it. And my mum and dad were like, wow, my God, you know, really just little things, you know, there's so many little things. And, you know, I see a shadow because we had, in our house, we had, the living room door was by the stairway, and opposite it was the bathroom and the toilet. And so obviously at night time, you'd have to come downstairs, go to the toilet, you know, because it was the only one we had in the house. And we went one night, I got up and I'd gone down to go to the toilet, and I remember glancing. I used to always glance in the living room because it used to give me a funny feeling at night because it was dark in there. And I remember glancing in the living room and I thought, okay, fine. I went in the bathroom, nothing. And then I was sat on the toilet and the handle was moving up and down as if somebody was trying to open the door. So I thought it was one of my kids. And I was like, I'll be out in a minute, because I thought it was one of the kids, you know. And when I come out, there was nobody out there. And I thought, okay, this is weird. Perhaps they'd gone back to bed. But I didn't hear anyone running back upstairs. So I was a bit like, well, okay. And as I walked past the living room, I happened to look in and there was somebody stood by my armchair. And I literally turned the light on straight away and there was nobody there, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I was just, oh my God, I was so freaked out. I legged it upstairs. I was like, oh my God, I woke my husband up. Because my kids, I checked on the kids, they were both fast asleep. I thought, there's no way they come down. But that wasn't the first time that happened. You know, the handle of the door, that happened a few times, you know, if you're in the shower or on the toilet or whatever. Someone would be, and literally the handle would be going up and down and rattling really loud, as if someone's like literally trying to, I want to get in, sort of thing. It was freaky. It was really freaky.
Okay, freaky fam. Now, obviously, like me, you love the paranormal. You love the freaky, you love the strange. We love it. And if you're looking for freaky places to visit, well, I have got a good one for you. Braxton County, West Virginia. Yes, absolutely beautiful, full of history, and a hotspot for paranormal activity. Now, Braxton County is known for the very famous Flatwoods Monster, but that's not the only bit of strange that calls Braxton home. Uncover all that's weird that Braxton has to offer. Bigfoot, monsters, ghosts, UFOs, and even a Thunderbird. You've got haunted towns, haunted locations, and some of the waters at Braxton County are home to some of West Virginia's biggest monster fish. You've also got the Flatwoods Monster Museum, where you can learn everything about the 1952 sighting of the creature. And just down the road, you've got the West Virginia Bigfoot Museum. Oh man, I need to get there. Guys, this place sounds like a freaky dream. I want to go there now. For more information, check out www.braxtonwv.org/freaky. The link will be in the show description, so make sure you check it out.
Yeah, there was so much going,
Yeah.
because like we had like a clothes wash, you hang your clothes on indoors. Obviously we had one of them, and we used to put it in the bedroom because it was out of the way, and our bedroom was quite big. And I remember I put it up and down, the washing hanging on it, and I in the night I'd gone to sleep obviously, and I'd got woken up in the night because it sounded as though someone had fallen into it. 'Cause that noise it would make, it would shake and make that weird noise. It sounded like that, and that woke me up, because it woke me out of my sleep. Like, oh my god, what was that? And there was nothing or nobody there. It was just so bizarre. It was just like, there were so many things, literally so many things. I could go on all day.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. But I never felt like threatened or sort of scared, if you like. Oh yeah, freaked me out, but I didn't.
Yeah.
After I lived there for 18 years, so after a while I kind of just got used to it. It was everyday life for me then. So when we moved out of there, it's a bit weird not having nobody around with you. So now it's a bit quiet.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, that's definitely like one of my experiences anyway. From over 18 years, I literally had a haunted house.
Yeah.
And I think it was because back in that day, because like I say, I used to rent off the council back then, and it was we used to be able to do exchange, so you can exchange with, do you know what I mean? So you can exchange with someone else in council. And the house I'd moved into, it was my brother's mate's mum's house. So I had a masonette then, and I wanted a house with a garden. So she swapped with me. So she had my masonette, and anyway, her husband, he died in the house. So I don't know if it's him, because he used to smoke very heavily. And he, I don't know whether he fell down the stairs or he had a heart attack. I can't remember, but it was something around the hallway anyway. So that explains everything around the hallway. And it's just so many weird stuff, so many weird things going on there. It was bizarre.
Man. Did you know the guy that died? Did you meet him?
No, I didn't. My brother knew him, obviously, because it was one of his mate's dad, but I didn't know him. No, I'd never met him. I'd never seen him, but it was kind of like I say, at first it was scary. It scared me because I was on my own, and I was quite young and all that. But then after a while, I was not frightened at all, because I knew that it wasn't a threat to me. It didn't make me feel threatened or anything like that. It wasn't no bad feelings. It was no negative. It was almost like he was just going, I'm here, by the way. What you're in my house, sort of thing. Because the really weird thing was, when I moved in there, obviously when you swap with someone, it's the same as if you just buy a house. You take out your own stuff, don't you? And you don't leave anything behind. But when we moved in the wardrobe in the bedroom, there was a tie rack, and it had all of his dad's ties hanging on this rack, and it was really weird. And I just thought, okay, that's weird. And then, but when I went up to the loft, there was like all loads of his dad's clothes and things all in the loft. So they'd sort of gone and left all of his dad's stuff behind, and it was just like, what? I kind of bagged it all up and gave it to my brother and said, give that to your mate. Because I don't need that. I don't want that in my house. So that was just bizarre and weird. And so
because it's interesting that you never got a bad vibe, and you sort of knew this person could have been.
Yes, exactly. It was quite that was the best thing about it, I suppose, is that I sort of knew it could have been. I had never asked, because you don't really do. You're not going to sort of go to someone, oh, by the way, how did your dad die? And all, I couldn't sort of speak about it like that to him. So, I mean, obviously I knew him, but I didn't know his dad. But I mean, it was just so bizarre. There were so many different episodes of different things that just happened. And explains like lots of things, like why my dog never liked being in the house on his own, because it obviously freaked him out. And they say animals can sense things really a lot, don't they? So
for sure.
It obviously really scared him. But so I rarely left him in there, because he's a poor bugger. Do you know what I mean? He was only little.
Does your daughter remember the imaginary friend?
She remembers. She remembers talking about it, but I don't know if she remembers who he was, or she was only young, she
Yeah.
was only quite young, but she remembers talking about it. She remembers his name because
Yeah.
we was just like laugh and say, is it Dennis the Menace, because like albino and that, because it was just something silly at the time. We just sort of have a joke about it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, she sort of remembers sort of bits of it, I think. But yeah, she's sort of shrugged it off a bit now.
Yeah.
I think she thinks like, oh no, it's just imaginary friend, it was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was definitely something in the house. It was definitely, I mean, you used to go, if you went in the loft, there was just an eerie feeling of someone was watching you the whole time. So I never went in that loft, not once. When we moved in, my dad put all my bits and bobs in the loft. I said, I'm not getting on that. So I sort of get up the ladder and I popped my head in and I was just like, I don't like it. Straight away, I just thought, oh my God, it feels really weird and horrible up here, I don't like it. I got to get down. So I just immediately just, come straight down.
That's
I
interesting.
never went up there. Yeah.
You didn't get a bad vibe anywhere else, but you got
No,
it.
just there, just in the loft.
Yeah.
Really weird. Really, really weird.
Because obviously, if this is in your family, you're more open to this sort of stuff as well.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think because of, and at one point in my life, then I was sort of looking into it a lot, and I remember I bought myself a book about like how to open your mind and stuff a bit, to try and open yourself up, if you like. And you have to do all these sort of I don't know, like meditation and all these kind of exercises that you have to do to try and relax yourself, to get your mind to open, so that anyway, I did all of that, and I did that for a little while. And after a little while, a lot more things started to go on. So I kind of started to get a bit freaked out, thinking, okay, well, it's not just this fella in this house now, but this is something else. And it freaked me out a little bit. So I was a bit like, whoa, how do I just calm this down, sort of thing? I had to sort of look it up and everything, how to sort of calm it down, if you like.
I see you felt like you was bringing in other energies.
Yeah, 100%. It just felt like I was opening myself up a bit too much to everything else or anyone else, and I was a bit like, no, I don't want that. I don't really want that. That's a bit scary.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to pop up, do you?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I find, that these, obviously it can happen at any time. But like if you're in bed at night and then there's a spirit in your room, which obviously it happens. I've experienced that myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaky sometimes, isn't
very,
it?
very freaky.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, there's these things that you can sense and you just know, and then when you actually see things and hear things and all of that, it's even more like aware. You're even more aware then.
Yeah.
You're kind of like that. Whoa, this is a different world, sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It is quite freaky.
Yeah.
So it's happened to you. Have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen full apparitions when I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I spoke about it on the show before, but when I was 10 years old, I had a man sitting in my room, a full-bodied apparition.
Wow.
And he looked like William Shakespeare.
Oh,
that's
wow.
That's the sort of look he had. I don't think it was William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But
so sort of from that era.
That era, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my first sort of big experience. And once I experienced that, I've been open to it all my life, basically.
Yeah.
I've seen shadow people and
that's it. Yeah, I have as well. I've seen that a few times in different places as well. We went to Jamaica Inn.
Oh wow, in Cornwall, is that?
Yeah, in Cornwall.
Yeah, the really haunted pub.
It is, yeah. Weird thing is, I mean, at the time, this was like quite a few years ago. My son now he's 21, and at the time, I think he was about 5, something like that. So this goes to show how long ago it was. We was on holiday, and I said to my husband, right, I want to go to the Jamaica Inn. We'd also gone to Bodmin Jail as well.
Oh wow.
So we actually went to Bodmin Jail for the day first, and then we went to Jamaica Inn and had a meal afterwards. So we went to Bodmin Jail, and we was walking around there. And my husband is not a disbeliever or anything like that. He believes stuff, but he doesn't experience things as much. That way. Yeah. Anyway, we was walking around Bodmin Jail, and we had our son in his pushchair and stuff, and we was wandering around, and my husband just got a massive headache, and he's like, I've got to go out, I've got to get out, I've got a really bad headache. And he all of a sudden it come on out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was in one part of the jail we was in. There was one particular cell which my son again was looking at, pointing and going, look. And we was a bit like, what? And we couldn't see anything in there. But then it was kind of a thing of it was just really bizarre and weird. And then all of a sudden my husband just got a headache and we was like, oh, okay, you know, but it was just like that. I got feelings in that place that, you know, when you just get the feel,
you get that
I
vibe.
just got, totally got the vibes in there, totally. Anyway, after that, we decided to go to Jamaica Inn. And we went to Jamaica Inn, and it's such a stunning place.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really, really old, isn't it? And I love things like that. I love old buildings and stuff. I'm a bit of a geek like that. But, you know, like
same,
stuff like
for
that.
sure, for sure.
So we decided we're going to go there. So we went there, we thought, because at the time it was like, you know, time for something to eat. So we go in there and we have something to eat. So, and obviously it's a pub as well. So we walked in, and as you go in the doors, there was like a little sort of desk, I suppose, where you can't, you know, you go in and you say, it says stand here and wait and that sort of thing. We kind of walked in, and this man was stood there in the corner, if you like, not by the desk, and he was dressed like, really, really old-fashioned clothes. I can't explain it. I don't know what era it would be, but he was really, really old-fashioned clothes. And he said hello to us, and we said, oh, hello. We thought he worked there. And then somebody else walked in the door, like more guests walked in the door, and as we turned around and looked back where he stood, he was completely gone. He wasn't there at all. We was like, oh my God. I mean, that gave us the shivers, honestly.
Yeah,
me and my husband both saw him and both said hello to him. Wow. And it was just so bizarre, but really, really, you know, he hadn't got, there was no way he could walk past us without us knowing. There was no way he could, you know, go anywhere without us seeing, because we was literally stood in front of the doors, and it was only where, because people walked in, that we turned around and looked at them as they walked in, and as we turned back, he was nowhere to be seen. It was so bizarre, but and was amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Was that a full body apparition?
Yeah, absolutely. Hundreds. He just looked like a man worked there. Yeah. You know, we thought it was perhaps it was like a theme, you know, where they dressed up. Nobody else was dressed up like that. Yeah. They were all in like modern clothes. They were like young girls, mostly waitresses and stuff. And this fella, no, he was in a full sort of almost, I don't know, it was a really, really old sort of costume, if you like. And yeah, he was a full-bodied man. It was so weird.
That's crazy. Because this is known as one of the most haunted pubs in the UK.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's why we wanted to go there, because obviously I'm into all that. So I was like, yeah, we've got to go there because we're in Cornwall. We've got to go there.
That's so cool.
It was absolutely brilliant. Really, really, you know.
And it's so cool that you and your husband both saw that as well.
Yeah, exactly. We both interacted with him. We both said hello, because he said hello to us, and we both said hello. And then it's literally in an instant he'd gone and completely gone. And it was just like, what? Where's he gone? We was both like, we still to this day both go, can't believe that. That's amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's happened, like, you know, you when you go out like and you experience all these things, it makes you want to experience more stuff. Yeah. Because it's that's why I'm fascinated with it all, because, you know, I love all stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. But that's an awesome experience.
Yeah, it was really good. Really, you know, something that we'll never forget ever. You know, but other than that, in that pub, I mean, the pub itself was lovely, and everything else was sort of normal, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So we didn't experience anything else in that pub, but that was enough, I think. You know,
just for sure. Yeah.
So that was an experience.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. I don't think I've been there. I've been to Cornwall a lot of times, but I need to go. I need to go there.
Yeah, you do. Yes, it's a really good place to go. Definitely, 100%. I mean, if you're into like investigations and that sort of stuff, definitely that's something that you should, you know, definitely look into.
Yeah. Is it a hotel as well?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a hotel, or it might be now. I don't know if it was back then. I know they serve food and that, because we've been in that time to eat. I'm not sure if it was a hotel or not, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know if I'd be brave enough to stay there, but
I would. That'd be great. I'd love that.
I would.
Yeah,
but, I wouldn't sleep, I don't think.
No, probably not. Go and stay there just to be awake all night.
I'll leave the telly on.
Yeah, just so you've got a bit of background noise. Yeah. No, so it's something that you definitely should go there. It's just somewhere you should definitely go. It's on your bucket list.
For sure, for sure. I need to get there.
It was a great place. Like I say, that was a long time ago. I'd love to go back, but then it's going down to Cornwall again. We haven't been down there for ages, and
Yeah.
Cornwall is stunning, isn't it? I mean,
Oh, it's
everything about Cornwall is
beautiful
stunning.
place. Yeah, it
There's so
is.
many great places to go as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we used to go like years and years ago. Like, me and my husband used to go like for drives and stuff, like at a weekend or something. We had nothing to do in the evening.
Yeah.
Like, let's go for a drive when it's dark. Let's go for a drive and see if we can find it. Go down like certain lanes that's supposed to be haunted and this sort of stuff. We used to just do that just for fun, really. And a few times we'd been out and we'd seen. One day we was driving down this lane. I can't remember where it was. This was a while back. We was driving down the lane and there was just fields on either side. And we was just driving along and it was just dark. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the field, there was headlights, and they just popped out of nowhere. And it was just like, what? There's no way for a car to get in there. Yeah. So I don't know what there was. And then all of a sudden, it gone again. So unless there was someone parked there and just put the red lights on, I don't know. But it was so bizarre. We was like, okay, that's a bit weird. There's no way to get in. Is it like, because down the side of the lane, there was just ditches. There is ditches at the side of the road. It was these ditches, so there's no way you could drive in there. So I don't know how, unless they got in another way. I don't know. But that was one thing which was weird.
Was it definitely a car light?
Well, I don't know. It was just lights. There was just lights over in the middle of the field. Wow. And it was just like a sort of a sudden, these lights came on out of nowhere, if you like. And we both noticed it because obviously it was pitch black everywhere else. There's no street lights in a country lane. Yeah. And yeah, we both sort of saw it and we was be like, what? This is weird. And then it sort of went again. It was just like, okay, I don't know what that was. So that was
interesting. So that could be a UFO or anything.
It could be anything. You just don't know. It was really quick though, sort of almost there and gone, if you know what I mean. So that was weird. But I mean,
was that in Cornwall? Sorry.
No, that was that was probably in Hertfordshire because we lived in Hertfordshire then.
Oh, okay.
And it's probably like around there, driving. We just go out driving around down the country lanes and stuff like that. So that was sort of up this way, more. Yeah. But I mean, another time is we were driving down, and this was in Hertfordshire. I can't remember the name of the lanes, but we were driving down through this little village, and where you come out from the village, there was another sort of lane. And as we was coming out, there was all of a sudden there was a woman walking down the road in fully dressed, old-fashioned, like to your ankles dress, like type thing. Yeah. It was like that. She had just white on, and she was walking down this road, and we got to her, and then she'd gone, and it was just like, what? Wow. So that was another time we'd gone out on a drive. So yeah, we did experience a few things actually, weirdly.
Wow, you saw a woman in white.
Yeah, it was really odd.
That's quite a common apparition for people to see, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But because the weird thing was that she was dressed in old-fashioned clothing, but she had sort of like a bonnet type thing on her head. So that's how old-fashioned that's what made us look at her, I suppose. Because that's not the sort of thing people wear, is it, these days? So, she was properly, unless she'd gone to a fancy dress or something, I don't know, but it was really odd. And why would you be walking in the dark lane?
No, that's dangerous, man. And was she a full bodied apparition?
Yeah. So if you could see, you literally you see her bonnet or thing on her head, and you see it like right down to her ankles. Her dress was just really long white dress, whereas like white or creamy colour. I can't remember, but I know it was a light coloured dress and stuff. Yeah, it was that was weird because we was being both a bit like, what? Where the fucking hell she go? Couldn't figure it out.
Because that is a woman in white that gets described in a lot of different locations.
Yes,
all around the world. Like I hear that so often.
I suppose if you think about it, back then that was probably something that a lot of women used to wear. Years and years ago. I mean, they used to, because they didn't have they didn't have not like us where we have different fashions and different colours and that. Did they? They were dressed in black or white mostly, weren't they, back then? Most people. So I suppose that's sort of why it's quite popular and common, I should imagine. Yeah, it was definitely weird. Definitely weird.
That's another cool experience.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is what I mean. I kind of I do experience stuff and see things and even hear things, sometimes, and you're like, that what? Where'd that come from? Yeah. It's a bit weird. Sometimes it's just like a bit, well.
With the woman in white, did your husband see that as well, did you say?
Yeah, we both saw her. Yeah,
Oh, that's
because
cool.
he was driving,
Yeah.
and I was just sitting in the passenger seat, and he was driving along, and he was like, "Oh, look, there's that woman wandering up in the dark in the lane." And we
Yeah.
both looked, and then literally as soon as we sort of got almost near to her, she wasn't there anymore. And we was both like that.
Wow.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
That's mad.
Bizarre. Yeah, it was
Did
massively weird.
Did you see her face?
No, I didn't see her face. No, because she walked with her back to us.
Oh,
So as
okay.
if she was walking away almost, you know.
Yeah.
So we didn't see her face, just saw the back of her dress and her head with a hat thing on. But that was all we saw. But it was just so weird. So weird.
That is super freaky.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, that's why I love going out and looking,
Yeah.
you know, just to experience it, really, just to see if anything happens. Because you know, when you're a teenager and you go, oh, let's go, and you know, there's these graves that have got like 7 sisters buried in them, and let's go, and you have to wander around the grave 7 times. You know, all that sort of nonsense that you used to do when you was a teenager. Yeah, I like all
Still
that
do
sort
it.
of stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's good fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
experiences are cool. When you experience them at the time, you're a bit like blown away.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I suppose afterwards you're a bit blown away as well, because you kind of like can't get over the fact that what you've seen, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's quite, you know.
And once you see something,
Mm.
it tends to open the door because you're open.
Yes.
You see other things and you experience other things.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it was only I don't remember I don't know if it was last week or week before, but I go walking my dogs. I walk through the woods, and in our woods where I walk, on one part, because it's part of like a national park, like trust, so it's a big park as well. So, but the one part which is woodland, and then where you walk through, on one side there's like a fence, but it's not like a, you know, a wooden fence, nothing. It's like a little metal sort of fence, but it's only sort of small, sort of waist height, I suppose. But it goes all the way along one side, and then you've got to walk up to these gates. You know, them gates they have where you've got a cattle grid and stuff, so animals can't go through, because one side is a grazing area for animals and stuff.
Yeah.
So and they've got them special gates where animals can't push open. Well, they've got these gates and stuff in different places, but I was wandering along with my dogs, and normally I've got my earphones in, so I'm listening to some of my earphones. But this particular day I thought I fancy just a bit of peace and quiet, because all you can hear is the birds and it's lovely, you know. So I just thought I won't bother. So I was walking along, minding my own business, and then out of nowhere I just heard footsteps running, and at first I just thought, oh, it's just a jogger, because you see them all the time, you know. So I wouldn't think, but they were running quite quick up behind me. So me and my girl dog, she looked around at the same time as me, because we thought it was somebody coming up behind us.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there, and we was like, okay, that's weird. And then, because there's trees and bushes on the sort of the left hand side of me, and it's sort of almost as if they were coming behind the trees past me, you know. So I go, okay, and again I just thought it was a jogger, and I just carried on. And then not far away from me, I don't know how, I'm rubbish with, like, you know, feet and all of that.
Yeah, same.
So I mean, a little bit away from me, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
In front of me, there's this young boy. I mean, I reckon he must have looked about 8 or 9. He ran out in front of me, sort of across in front of me towards the fence, and I saw him as I was walking up, and I just thought, oh, I was expecting him to be with another kid. I thought that must have been who was running. And he stood at this fence and he looked around behind him as if he was waiting for someone to chase after him or something, you know, a kid playing.
Yeah.
And as I got to him, he was gone. And I was like, there's nowhere you can go. Where are you? I was literally looking around for him, like, oh my God, where's he gone? Where'd he go?
Whoa.
And because of the fence, the metal fence, you could climb through it, I suppose, if you was a little kid. But
yeah,
on the other side, there's like a pavement way, a pathway, and I can see straight through it. It's not like you can't see. So I could see the path, and there's nobody come out on that side. He didn't come through, because I'd have seen him. And there was a couple walking up on that side, on the path, towards me, if you like, on the path. And they looked over as if they'd seen him running towards the fence. They looked right at him.
Yeah.
And then he got, like, you know, they looked a bit shocked as I was, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's as if they'd gone, did we just see that? And we all sort of looked at each other like, what did they just happen?
Did you
And I
say
was
it to
just
the
like,
couple?
no, because they were a bit further away from me because off the path. It's a little bit further away, so I don't think they really saw me because I was sort of in the woods.
Yeah.
But I could see them and I could see the path, and I could, you would see if somebody had gone out, because literally on the other path there's literally just a field for miles, if you like.
Yeah.
So if anyone come out, you'd see them. And you'd see him going one way or another, wouldn't you? But no, he literally, I looked around in the woods for him because I was thinking, where have you gone? Where have you gone?
Yeah.
I was so confused. I thought, did I just see that? Am I imagining that? Did I just see that?
Well,
and I was just like, whoa.
You heard something run behind you, and
Yeah.
your dog heard that as well.
Yeah, she heard it too. Yeah, that's what made me think I'm not mad, because she heard it.
Yeah.
She turned around and looked. Because my girl dog's she's very paranoid. When people walking behind you, she doesn't like it. She's always constantly looking around. So when we heard this footsteps, she looked around straight away, and she kept looking around. And I was looking around as well, and I thought, oh. But then, because they run past us, if you like, on the other side of the bush, I didn't think any, like I say, I just thought it was a jogger or, something like that. But no, and then there's this little lad come running out, and I just thought, okay, it wasn't half term either, so it can't have been I'm sure last week half term. So it weren't half term, so it might have been the week before. So I thought to myself immediately when I saw him, I wonder why he's not at school. But I didn't, penny didn't drop at that point until I got to where he was stood, if you like, and then he wasn't there anymore, and it was just like, what?
Wow.
Where has he gone?
Yeah.
Because I literally stopped and I was looking around in the area, like thinking, well, So I immediately, when I'd come out of the woods and everything, I sat down on the bench and I was trying to get my thoughts together, like, what the, wow, sort of thing. And I just did a YouTube short and sort of explained what had just happened. But the annoying thing is why are you never recording when these things happen?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's so frustrating.
It's the last thing you think of as well, when you see something paranormal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, at first I just thought he was a little kid. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna think, oh, that's a ghost, because you just wouldn't.
No. But can you remember what he was wearing? Was it like a modern sort of look, or?
I didn't really take a lot of notice of what he had dark brown hair, but that's all I remember really. I don't really remember anything like what he was wearing. I didn't really take a lot of, when you don't really take a lot of notice.
Yeah, it's just a little kid running around.
Yeah, just saw a kid running around, because over the opposite side of the woods there's like a block of flats. So, posh apartment things. And I suppose I thought immediately, perhaps he's come out of there, perhaps he lives there, sort of thing. But because he didn't run past me again the opposite way towards them flats, and he didn't run up the path towards the gate or anything, I thought, well, hang on a minute, I'm right here, and you've not gone past me, you've not gone anywhere, and I can't get my head around it. And I'll come home and I said about it to my husband, and I was like, I can't get my head around it. I was so sort of like, because it's been quite a long while since anything like that's happened to me, I was a bit like, wow, flipping hell. It's just bizarre and weird. And
it's weird how that couple that saw it, and they seemed to react to it as well.
Yeah,
they were the other side of the fence.
Yeah, so they obviously, I don't know, because it was almost as if he was running towards them, if you like.
Yeah.
Because he was running towards the fence. So they probably just noticed him running towards them, and it was just their faces looked like probably what mine did, a bit confused and a bit sort of like, what did that just happen? But so to me it was so weird. I mean, if I'd have been closer to them, I probably would have said something to them, but I wasn't close enough to them, and there was the gate weren't for ages up, so I couldn't get out, if you know what I mean. It was sort of something you're going to shout across the fence. Did you just see that?
Where's that boy gone?
Yeah, did you see him? Where'd he go?
Wow. It makes me think though, because obviously you've seen full-bodied apparitions. I have as well.
Yeah.
It makes you think, how many times do you think you've seen something that could possibly be a ghost that we don't even take notice of in the street? You could walk past someone and not even. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, you can walk past. I go walks with my dogs in all different areas, and like you say, a lot of the time I'm on there's nobody around, but there is the odd people you walk past and they always say good morning or hello.
Yeah.
And I think I could be saying hello to someone and I don't even take notice of me. I just say hello back. I'm polite, I just say hello or good morning or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, you're right. You don't know, do you? They could actually. How do you know they're actually okay and they're
Yeah.
normal
They're
living
on
beings.
on our reality.
Yeah, exactly. You
Because
just don't know.
when I saw the apparition in my room,
Mm,
obviously I know that was not right because it was in my room.
yeah,
It was during the night. He looked like William Shakespeare.
yeah,
But if he was sitting on a bench and I just walked past that bench during the
yeah.
day, I'm probably going to think, oh, he looks a bit like William Shakespeare, but I'm not going to think that's a ghost,
No,
you know?
no, definitely not. You're right. Yeah, 100%. Because
So,
you wouldn't think that, would you? You'd just
no.
think it was just like someone sitting on a bench, wouldn't you? It's just, that's what I mean. It's so bizarre. Like this little lad, I just thought it was just a little lad, and I was fully expecting some other little lad or little girl to come out chasing after him because I thought he looked like he was playing with someone, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
nobody come along, and by the time I got to where he was, there was nobody around anywhere. And that was the most weirdest feeling because I've not had that feeling for such a long time. It's like, oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And I keep going back through the woods now, waiting for it to happen again, but I don't think it'll happen again.
It's so cool to when you experience something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's one of them things that you just think, you know, that's happened to me, but I don't think it'll happen again. You know, and then when it does happen again, it's a bit like, wow, okay, this is really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's something that you can't explain, and it is a bit weird. You do feel a bit weirded out by it. But
Yeah.
then on the other hand, you think, when you think about it, you sit down, you think about it, you think, wow, that's actually really quite cool because,
Yeah.
you know, that's just happened to me, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I like things like that, you know.
You've clearly got an ability. If you wanted to open that door more, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
As you say, at the same time, it's nice to be able to control it and not
Yes.
see it. You know,
All
because
the time,
people
yeah.
that see things every day, and it must be difficult as well.
Oh, definitely. If you just want to sit around and you just want to say you just want to sit and have your dinner, or somebody standing there looking at you, do you?
I'm just trying to watch the football game, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just leave me alone for 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I suppose it is good if you can control it, I suppose. But I suppose once you've opened up that much, I don't know. Can you control it? I don't even know.
Yeah, it must be difficult.
Yeah, it must be. Must be really hard. I mean, it must be really hard to deal with as well, especially at first, because no matter what you say and no matter who you are, it's going to be scary at first because you're going to come across different people that perhaps are not so nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's like your experience in your haunted house. Had that have been a nasty energy, that would have been a completely different story.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I would have wanted to move out straight away.
Yeah.
But I lived there 18 years, so you know, it shows it wasn't bothering us, you know.
He was part of the family.
Yeah, it was quite. That's what I mean. Now, where I live now, I've got a gorgeous house and everything now, but there's nothing going on here. But it's annoying because I kind of think where my house is. My house was built in 1984. This house we live in now, and it was built by a man. He built his own house, so he built this house, so it's unique. There's no other house like it. But what it was on this actual plot where my house is now was an old cottage that had been there for donkey's years. So I've tried looking up and researching, trying to find out more about this cottage, but I can't find anything. I only know that because of the neighbours that are behind us, because we've got no next door neighbours either side there, unless you talk to the sheep. So it's the people behind us. When we first moved in, he was talking to me and he sort of explained. He said, because he's lived there for 40 something years, so he knew the cottage and stuff. So he sort of told us about this cottage. So I was a bit like, wow, and I didn't even know it. So it's kind of like you kind of think, well, you know, you don't know because something might have happened in the cottage. You know, you just don't know. We're on the plot. We're on the same.
Yeah, that's what people say. Like with the houses, they say like how old the house is and stuff. But that land's been there forever. So there's
exactly
stuff going on, and as you say, there was a cottage there that probably, you know, an old cottage. So
don't know how long that stood there. You know, it might have been there for many years. Because where I live now, I live in the countryside. So, you know, obviously, way back when there was cottages and stuff, there weren't as many, was there? Because at the end of the day, you didn't have as many people, and there weren't as many no cars and things like that. So it's kind of like there was more land, wasn't there? So I don't know. That's what I mean. The cottage might have been here for ever. I don't know. I don't know how long it was here, but it's quite fascinating. So I can't find anything out about it though on the internet. It's so frustrating. because I want to just find out more. Because my husband said to me, "Oh, we should perhaps go to the library. You know, they have these things in the library where you can look up."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, we'll have to sort of go down and have a look, see if we can find anything out about it, because that would be really interesting."
Maybe the local council might be able to help you. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, maybe they would. But I mean,
That's
yeah,
cool,
it's cool. Yeah, but I mean, nothing so far has happened here that I've actually ever experienced, apart from like silly things, but nothing that I would say that would be paranormal. I don't think, you know.
So you said you see shadow people and stuff. Is that something you see quite a lot of?
It depends on where I am. I've seen it. Yeah, I mean, not all the time. It's not something I see all the time, but it is something that I've definitely experienced. And I think because of with my YouTube channel, I've had a lot of people say to me, "Go out and do investigations." I'm like, well, I've got literally nobody to go with, and I don't want to go on my own. Do you know what I mean? That's not something I really fancy doing.
Yeah.
So I'm really like, I don't want to go out in the dark on my own at midnight. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. It's not. I think I'm more scared of the living than I am the dead. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because when you see all these people going into these abandoned buildings and this, that, and the other, it's brilliant and great viewing and everything. But they're always with someone else, well, mostly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you don't know if people are squatting and stuff like that, do you? So you can imagine going into a building midnight, whatever, turned, and you bump into a bunch of squatters or something. Yeah. I just don't like that thought.
That is scary. Yeah. Because
so
you don't know what you're dealing with.
No, exactly. You don't know how they're going to react if you turn up with a camera or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they might be like a bit. You just don't know, do you? So I'm kind of like, no, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to do it on my own. I've got nobody else to go with, so because my husband's a bit like, nah. He's a bit like that, nah. My son has said to me, yeah, come on, I'll come with you. Yeah, my son said to me, oh yeah, I'll come with you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I might go out with him at one point, but you know, because where I live now, I've only lived here for 2 years. We bought this house 2 years ago, and the area where we live is completely new to us. So I've only just really found out where a lot of things are.
Yeah.
So you know what it's like when you move completely off area.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, I've actually done lots of sort of research on haunted places and things around near me. So I want to go to these different places. I was only saying about it to my husband the other day, and I said, but what I want to do is I'm going to go during the day, because I'm not going to go at night time because of the fact that I don't want to be out on my own at night, and you know, so I thought I'll go during the day, and I'm with my dogs most of the time anyway, so I can just take the dogs. It's an extra walk for them and stuff.
Yeah.
And I can do like some videos and stuff like that. So that's what I planned on doing. But then it's kind of like I said to my husband, problem is there's a tunnel not far away from me, which is a haunted tunnel. And from what I've researched about it, you experience and see lots of people seen things in there and, you know, heard things and whatever. And I thought that'd be excellent. I can go there, and obviously a tunnel, so you can go during the day, because a tunnel is always going to be dark. It's a tunnel.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be quite cool. So I looked it up, but the only thing I've seen is some people have put pictures online about it, and they're outside, right at the entrance of the tunnel, there's loads of broken glass and stuff. Obviously, I can't go somewhere like that with my dogs.
Yeah.
Because they don't wear shoes. You know? So I'm going to buy some trainers as well. And stick some trainers on them, I suppose.
Yeah. Get them out there. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's like there's places I want to go and stuff, but I've got to go on my own and look at these places first before I go anywhere else. You know, especially with checking them out, make sure they're safe for my dogs to go into, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, yeah, it's because I only say that because when I go out anywhere, I've got my dogs with me all the time. I'm like they're my friends. Do you know what I mean? I don't like going on my own. It's a bit boring being on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got dogs. Do you know what I mean? It's something a bit different, isn't it?
You can't beat a good dog walk. There's something about it. It's so relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're not on your own, are you? Never alone.
No,
you've got dogs. So
for sure.
That's why I was going to do it with them.
They are your best friends as well, as you said.
Oh, absolutely. Family. Yeah, and I feel safer with them as well, you know.
Yeah.
Being like, I've said to like my husband a few times, it don't matter where you are and what time of the day you're out, being a woman as well, I feel sometimes I can feel a bit intimidated by certain people, and it don't even have to be like a crowd of people. It could just be one person, but if they look at you the wrong way, then I feel a bit nervous, and I'm a bit like, okay, I don't like it, and it makes me feel awkward, I suppose. But when I've got my dogs with me, I feel safer because I know for a fact if somebody tried to attack me, they wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
So
And they're
I'm
big
kind
dogs
of,
as well.
they are big dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not, not
So
a little
no one's
Yorkie
going
or
to mess
nothing.
with them.
No, I don't think they would. I mean, the thing is, when my Labrador especially, and you wouldn't expect it from a Labrador, I'm sure he thinks he's a sheepdog. He does this thing where it's normally when he sees a dog, if he sees another dog, he sort of crouches. You know how sheepdog crouches around sheep up? He does that. He crouches and he sort of stalks, and he does it not in an aggressive way because he's not an aggressive dog. I think it's like he's an anxious dog, so he gets a bit anxious if he sees another dog, and he doesn't know how that dog's going to react towards him. If the other dog just sort of like carries on and walks past, then he stands up and he's fine, and he just walks past. But if the other dog jumps at him, then he's jumping back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's jumping back, wagging his tail because he wants to play. But so for me, it's hard because I'm trying to hold him because he's very strong. But I mean, he sometimes does it to certain people as well, which is really weird. It's almost like he gets a vibe off someone. He'll see someone coming along, and if they look a bit iffy, he kind of then will sort of like react in a certain way. So I don't think people come up to him anyway because they think he's, they see him stalking at them.
Well,
he stares at them and give it all that,
Dogs have definitely got a sense that we haven't got, like an extra sense or something, because obviously with the spirits and stuff, I don't know about your dog, my dog recently has been starting to like look in the corner of the room, and he's seeing something, but we're all like, what's going on? And there was another night, there was a day a few weeks ago where my dog just started going mad at not the front door, just another door in the house. And he never does that. Like, he's never done it since. It's the only time he's done it, but it really scared my kids, and they were like, he was seeing something, basically. It was weird. So they've definitely got senses that
they definitely have, 100%. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, they see things, and their hearing is like 1,000 times better than ours, and their sight and everything anyway. If they can see and sense things more easily than us anyway, no matter what.
And it's funny you say that. Sorry.
No, it's all right, go on.
I was going to say, I was walking my dog a little while ago, and we walk past people all the time, and he's still a little pup, so he's very friendly, he just wants to lick people. But we'd walk past this certain man, and I don't know this gentleman, he might be absolutely lovely, I don't know, but my dog just started going mad at him, and he's not done it. He's not done it. Don't know what the reason was. There was no reason for him to.
But they do. They get.
They sense something. Yeah,
they do. They get a sense of someone. They get a vibe off someone, and that's it. And they know straight away. It's almost like they can tell straight away if somebody's good or not. Do you know what I mean? And because it was only like a week or so ago, I was over the park with my dogs, and I go there all the time. And I was over there, and I was walking along, and I had my earphones in, but I have it so I can hear still, if you know what I mean. So I have it turned up, but not loud. So I could hear, all of a sudden I could hear someone almost like shouting and chanting, and I was thinking, what is that? And as I walked around the corner, this man he looked like Nigerian or something. He sounded like that. He was walking towards me, and he was shouting at the top of his voice, and I thought, well, my dogs went into like protective mode straight away. So I thought, I'm going to go the other way, so I kind of went the other way, so I didn't go past this fella. But he weren't talking on his phone. Sometimes people shout because they're talking on the phone, or they've got hands free or whatever. He didn't have any of that, and I know that he didn't. I could see it, but he'd gone into this. There's this little area where I walk, and it's kind of a couple of big ponds, and so you can sit. It's really pretty there. And then I changed my mind because he went in there, and the park where I go is really big. I mean, put it this way, I walk about 4 or 5 miles a day, so you're kind of like, you're spread out sort of thing. So I kind of walked past him, and he was shouting and chanting something. I couldn't make out what he was saying at all, couldn't tell you. My dogs have gone a bit like, well, like I say, so I kind of like went a different way, sort of to calm them down as well, really. But by the time I got, like, have to go up a really big hill, and when by the time I got up to the hill, and the other side near where the woods and that are, I could still hear this fella. He was shouting his head off, and he was chanting something, and it was a bit like, well, you're really freaky, you're really freaky.
He's got bad energy.
There was nobody else around. The weird thing, there was no one else around. And that makes it worse then, because then you feel a bit more, well, I'm here all on my own, and this mad man.
He was right to get away, listen to your gut and get away.
Definitely. And I feel like, my dogs knew that, and they sort of went, straight into a weird sort of protective stance, I suppose. Sort of covered me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, they
So,
do. They do.
Yeah, they do. They definitely know. They know when there's something not quite right, and
Yeah.
that's why I love going out with them. You see, because I, like I say, I feel safe. I
And
feel
they
much
are,
safer with them.
as I said, they are big dogs. So
Yes, they are big dogs.
no one's gonna mess with them.
They are big dogs. The thing is, though, everyone says, "Oh, wow, your dogs are really big," and I think, oh, I don't think they're that big, but then that's because we're used to them, I suppose. To me, they're not very big. But I mean, I can literally, my Labrador is an oversized Labrador. I don't know why, but he is. I can literally, I don't even have to bend down to hold his collar. He's that tall.
Yeah.
So, whereas my girl, who's got American Bulldog dad and everything, she's a bit shorter. So you have to sort of bend down a little bit to grab her collar, sort of thing. So it's a bit weird how he's oversized. He's just a huge Labrador.
Yeah.
He's odd because normally you see a little black Labrador and they're quite short.
Yeah.
But he's just really tall. He's just got long legs.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. They're great. They're great dogs. I love dogs.
I do. Yeah, I do.
I'm a dog guy.
I love all dogs. Dogs are great. And dogs, like I say, they've got special senses. They just know. They just know. Totally.
Yeah.
Know.
My nan and granddad stayed. I believe it was in Cornwall as well. Actually, I might be wrong on that, but I think it was in Cornwall. They stayed, or it might have been Devon. They stayed in a haunted, old hotel that could have been haunted.
Yeah.
But my nan and granddad's dog is little Jack Russell, and he was barking in the corner. I bet the other guests loved it. He was barking in the corner the whole night at something.
Really?
And they said it was very out of character. Like he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So he picked up something
it's so
there.
Bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Yeah. I mean, like I said, my staffy I had, I mean, he was amazing. But he used to literally, he'd look at something and you could tell he'd seen something.
Yeah.
But he was a bit, he'd run over to me like, I don't like it. Sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't take his eyes off whatever he'd seen. Yeah. But I didn't always see what he'd seen. So it's weird, isn't it? Because sometimes I could see stuff and then other times I couldn't see stuff. So that's what I find fascinating as well.
Yeah.
Is at some moments you might hear something or sense something another way, but you don't always see it visually.
Yeah.
So I find that fascinating as well.
It's like for whatever reasons that door opens to us.
Yes, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It is really interesting. That's why I like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never personally been on a ghost investigation because obviously I've got nobody to go with, so I ain't going to go on my own.
If I'm ever down your way, I'll come on a ghost investigation with you.
Yeah, definitely, 100%, definely.
We'll take the dogs.
Yeah, take the dogs and we'll go somewhere.
Extra backup.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. They'd be good at that.
Yeah.
They're my security guards. No, that'd be cool. I mean, I like I say, I've never been on one, but so I don't know. Like some people have said to me, because obviously with my channel and everything else, people automatically think I'm a ghost investigator, but well, I'm not. Yeah. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just got a real big fascination into the world of paranormal, and it's a really big world as well, isn't it? It's not just ghosts. There's so much else going on.
Cryptids, UFOs.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it all.
There's so much else going on. I mean, the thing is, I'm a bit of a skeptic, I suppose, in things like aliens.
Yeah, that's cool.
Obviously, I think there is something and something somewhere else. There's got to be. It can't be. We can't be the only beings around, can we?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't imagine that aliens would come to Earth. And if they did, they'd look at people and think, "What the fuck? Let's go back." Because most of the people are really nuts. So, yeah, let's go somewhere else. I don't want to be here.
There's a guy singing in the woods to himself.
Exactly. This fella's over there in the
charm. Get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not really. They'd think that people were mental. No, we don't want to be here. But there has to be something. I don't know what, but there has to be something going on.
I think it's good to be skeptical at the same time, though.
Yeah.
Because I've said before in the show as well. I'm always the first thing's paranormal. Like, that's paranormal. Like I can't help it. I just jump to the paranormal. But you're right though. You should be open-minded, I guess, and not everything's paranormal. But
no, exactly. I think also, I mean, for me, especially on my YouTube as well, with my reaction videos and things, I think people automatically think, oh, she doesn't believe, she's a skeptic. But I'm not. I know stuff. I know stuff's going on because I've experienced stuff. So I'm not a skeptic. But a lot of my videos where I am skeptical is because I believe there's so many people that fake so much stuff, and it spoils it for everyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you kind of get all these channels that they've got thousands of subscribers, but you can see it's not real. And you know it's not real. You know that there's fishing line opening that drawer, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see all these videos and you think, yeah, that is not real. Because of a lot of them are the same sort of videos as well. They're not even different. They don't even try and make them different.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like
with AI and stuff like that now, it's
exactly.
it's getting harder to tell.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the thing. It's so easy enough if you know how to do it. It's so easy to fake all this stuff. I mean, I was saying that on my podcast actually the other day. Exactly that. It's so hard to different. What's the word? Make a what is the word? I can't even say it. You know,
I'm trying to think.
I
know what you mean.
Make them different anyway.
Differentiate. Oh, I can't even say it.
That's the word. That's what I'm trying to think of. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's so hard, isn't it, though, to separate the two. You know, so I think
it's done on purpose with the AI.
Oh, definitely.
I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to lie, but I think they've made the AI so accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So people are putting out whatever they want to put out, and everything you see now is hard to.
It is.
Can't believe anything, really.
No, exactly. Bad. I mean, are you even real?
I don't know. I could be AI right now.
I think you might be.
That make a lot of sense.
This is a problem, isn't it? You're right. It's really hard because everything's so, I mean, computerized and technical these days. Like not way back when, you know, like when I lived in my house where everything was going on. Back then, you didn't have any of that. You had the internet, but it only just become a thing.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, I remember the internet first starting up. You know, I remember getting an email for the first time and being over the moon and fascinated by it. I mean, I'm that old. I mean, I just remember all this sort of stuff like it was yesterday. But also, I kind of think because nowadays everything is digital and everything is, you know, on the internet and everything else. You're right, it's so hard to challenge your mind whether that's real. Is that real or is that real? I don't know. Whereas back then you knew that it probably mostly real then.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as easy then to edit stuff like it is now.
Yeah, for sure.
No. So
and I feel like that's done on purpose to keep us on our toes, keep us questioning and
I think you're right. I think you're definitely right. It's a real
but we still love it.
Mind-blowing thing. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I mean, there's loads of things that you know, videos and stuff. I watch them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one thing I can't bear is TikTok, and I know loads of people love it. I hate TikTok.
Yeah,
I hate it with passion.
I'm on TikTok, but I find it's the hardest one for me to sort of. I do it just because it's that extra.
Yes.
Getting the show out, it's extra people seeing it.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like my main.
No.
Instagram's my favourite.
Instagram's my favourite actually as well, because that's the place I get the most interaction and the most, you know. I mean, obviously I've got subscribers and stuff on YouTube, but to get all my stuff out, Instagram's the best.
Yeah,
I think you know, because like Twitter and that, I don't really get a lot on Twitter, to be honest.
Twitter's just nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, mostly it's just a load of nonsense.
Twitter's just arguing and
people.
I'm on
people
Twitter,
just, you know, I am as well. But I mean, obviously, it's kind of. I know it's a place you can go to. Some days you go there and you think, okay, it's all right today, and then other days your timeline will be full of hatred, and you're like, what is this? What's going on? I mean, and I know a lot of people that I follow. Most of the people I follow and stuff on there are all to do with paranormal or cars. A lot of things. I really like cars, so it's kind of that's my two sort of thing. But obviously, when you get because on Twitter, I'm gonna say Twitter then on Twitter, you kind of get this. Thing where you get like things on your feed that you from people you don't even know, and you're like, what? I don't follow them. It
took me a while to work that out because I was getting all these tweets that people you don't follow.
Yes.
But there's like two timelines now.
Yeah,
there's
one
the people that you follow, and one for things that they
For
think
you.
you're gonna like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you think I'm gonna like this?
Exactly. I ain't gonna like this. Why am I gonna like this? I'm not gonna like it. It's rubbish. And it's just people arguing mostly, and you should think, oh my god. But I mean, you do get that on Instagram as well sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get it everywhere, don't you? I hate that though. I really hate that. I mean, you see sometimes, like if you say made a comment on something, say about a TV program, for instance, Love Island, right? Like yes, it's sucker TV and all that, but I do watch it because I like crap TV sometimes.
Nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of them things. But I saw on Instagram there's a Love Island, that the official thing, and I follow it. And obviously, when you see in the comments people comment about the show and this and the other, I don't normally comment, but sometimes on my private account, I don't do it on my, I've one on for my YouTube, that otherwise that'd be just weird. But yeah, so I kind of like, I'd commented something about one of the lads on there, most of the lads on there, they talk like they're gangsters, and it's a bit like, what? You know? And there's one bloke on there, and he talks, he puts his sort of voice on, and it's just like, that must be hard work trying to keep up with that voice and try. And somebody had said the same thing as me, and I thought, I didn't write it, but and I thought, well, I think that too. So I said, oh, I agree with you. I think so and so, is really annoying. But then you get the trolls, which are like, you can tell they're teenagers or whatever, the way they speak and the things they say. I'll go and cry about it. It's like, what? Okay, I'm not actually going to cry about anything, mate. But it's kind of, they're trying to get an argument out of you, and it's just like, no, I'm not going to argue with children. I'm just not. No. I'm too long in the tooth for that stuff.
I can't be arguing on the social media. I enjoy social media. I'm always posting stuff, and I'm like you. If I get a nasty comment or whatever, I don't write to it. It doesn't even bother me, to be honest with you.
It doesn't me either anymore. Funny thing is, I remember it used to, when I first sort of started going on social media and stuff, like Twitter and that, and it used to really get on my nerves. I think, who are you? Don't talk to me like that. Because if you know me as a person in real life, I won't put up with no shit. I'm that sort of person, and nobody's going to talk to me like that. Do you know what I mean? And put the dogs social media, yeah, exactly. But I mean, first on social media, I was like, no, I'm not having this, and But now I'm just like, oh, whatever. And I don't even say anything. It doesn't even affect me no more. I don't care.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually take it as a compliment. If someone's nasty on social media, I'm like, okay, you obviously care. If you're going to say something nasty to someone, you care a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the thing people say you should take as a compliment is when someone copies something you're doing and they say, what is it where they say, oh, you should take it as a compliment. It's like, but why should I take that as a compliment? Yeah. Especially when it's YouTube. When it's YouTube, I'm not going to mention any names. I've seen a couple of channels, let's put it that way, recently that are fairly newish, like me, I suppose. And then there's another couple of channels that are really big, and they've been on YouTube for ages, and they've really got loads of, and they've got their own style and their own personality and their own way, like everybody should have. Yeah. And things they say and stuff like that, and things they do, it's their own, it's them. You can't take that away from them because that's who they are. So then this other channel, again, not going to say any names, they've come along and they're basically trying to be this other big channel in every way, with the things they say, the phrases they use and everything. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, the way it's said.
I've seen this. Yeah.
And I just think, oh my God, it frustrates me so much. Yeah. And there's one thing that I say, and I've always said, and I say you'll see it all the time on all of my videos. I always say, oh, when I'm talking too much, because I do talk a lot, as you can gather, I've been talking to you for ages.
It's cool. It's what we're doing. It's podcast. You got to talk.
I kind of like, I'm you can't shut me up sometimes. You know what I mean? No,
that's a good thing for the podcast.
Yeah, that's why I started a podcast. I thought, I can talk for Britain.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's certain things that I say, and there's certain things how I say things as well. And I've noticed this other person is sort of taking my things I say, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, hang on a minute, what? Don't do that. Don't do that. There's no need to do that. Yeah. I don't understand that personally. I think if you're you're just you and I'm me, and
That's it. Yeah, you can only be you as well. You can't be anyone else.
No, I don't think so.
My only advice to you is to just carry on doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to let it bother
And
me.
don't
no,
let it.
But
Yeah.
But it did at first. Initially, I thought, well, hang on a minute. I say that all the time, and it's like I've said all of my life. It's not even,
Yeah.
something
It's yours.
new.
Yeah.
So I know other people say it. This is not I don't copyright that word. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just something that I always say, and I feel like, I don't know.
I know you said you don't like it, but I would take it as a compliment.
Yeah, see, people say that. Yeah,
it means that whether they're doing it as just to be like you because they respect what you're doing and they like it. I would just take it as a compliment. I know you don't like that though, but
no. So, I mean, I suppose you're right in a way, but then it's a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah,
kind of
that's my word.
Well, yes, but yeah, it is. It's my play word.
Yeah.
How dare you? No, I just think it's kind of like, I feel like, why can't you just be yourself? Because I think it's the best way to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you have to be when you're doing this sort of thing.
Definitely.
You're going to put your own spin on things.
Yeah.
You're going to focus on the things that you enjoy as well. So
absolutely,
I think you have to be yourself, because if you don't enjoy it yourself, then you're not going to enjoy it.
If you're not yourself, I mean, how do you keep remembering how you're supposed to react and act and behave?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to be you. This is what I mean. That's what I'm talking about with the Love Island things. There's this particular lad on there, and I think he puts on a voice.
Yeah. Trying to be.
How they kind of bro and bruv and everything, and all of that. I know people say it. I know it's a saying, and I get that. But at the same time, he kind of does that gangstery type. He thinks he's gangster, and he talks. I can't even do it. I can't even do the accent that he does. But it's just a bit like, oh my god, just be yourself, mate. Because at the end of the day, your mum and dad are probably watching this thinking, he don't act like that normally.
Yeah. He's not a gangster.
No.
He's not a gangster.
He just thinks he is because he's on Love Island. Oh, sorry, I totally turned it around talking about Love Island.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Nick, this has been absolutely awesome talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
I have too. Yeah, it's been really good.
Have you got any other paranormal experiences to share before we wrap it up? Is there anything else to add?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. I'll probably think of something afterwards, but no, I don't. Off the top of my head,
can I just ask you that when you saw the shadow person in your house for the first time?
Yeah.
Was it like just a clear black shadow figure?
Yeah. It was just a black outline person stood there. You could literally see it was a tall, looked like a man because it was a manly build, if you like. Yeah. It was a tall man, the same person I think that was stood in behind that little door. When that first day I moved in, I think it was the same person because it was about the same height. And obviously in the living room, where I saw it in the living room, the lights were out, so it was dark in there, so I could just see like a silhouette, if you like. Yeah. So when I turned the light on, obviously I couldn't see it. But that's why I decided to get the camera and set it up in the living room, because I thought, I might see something. But I didn't. It was like people say about the orbs and this, that, and the other. And I suppose there was that, but then I don't know if orbs, I'm a bit funny about orbs because I don't know if it's dust particles or could it be insects, or do you know what I mean? You don't know, you can always tell. Yeah. But there was this sort of thing going on as well on the camera at the time, because I was gutted. I remember saying, not that on my video a while back about this, and I remember saying then, I'm gutted now that I didn't have YouTube or anything then, because that would be, something cool to put on your channel, wouldn't it? Yeah. Old thing, literally,
especially when that's crazy.
You literally turned around, so it's okay.
Have you still got that footage?
No, this is the most annoying thing, because at the time, it was my dad's camera. I borrowed it, and then we watched the video. I showed it to them, and I obviously gave the camera back to my dad, and I didn't have anything to record to keep the footage on. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd have uploaded that to my channel, because I'm so gutted I haven't got it. And obviously, we don't live there now, so I can't even. I wish we lived there now, just so I could get some stuff on camera.
Have to go back and just say, "It's all right if I just." A camera up.
You don't mind if I just, don't mind me.
Do you know what?
Sit in the corner.
It would be interesting to know, and I'd like to go back to my old haunted house that I used to live in when I was little. I'd love to go back and ask the people if they're experiencing, whoever's living there now, if they're experiencing the same things.
Yeah, it would be interesting, wouldn't it, to find out.
Sorry, my Siri's come up again.
Oh,
sorry.
Perhaps it's me. Perhaps I'm saying something that activates it.
Oh, are we back? Sorry, my Siri came up again there.
Oh, perhaps it was me. Perhaps I'm activating it. Sorry.
Yeah, I would love to go back and ask them if they experienced similar things to what we was experiencing.
Yeah, that would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Just to find out if it wasn't, but then obviously not everybody gets in tune, I suppose, with that sort of stuff, do they?
True.
It's
fascinating stuff, though, isn't it? I love it.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. I love it too. But it's been really, really good talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Can you tell the audience where they can find you and your channel?
Oh, you like to say this because I find it really hard to say the name of my channel because it's not paranormal, it's Paranormal, because obviously the paw bit with the dogs. So Paranormal Trails, because obviously I go out with the dogs, so the trails as well as that. So yeah, you can find me over on YouTube, and I'm on Spotify now, and also Apple Podcasts too. So yeah, they can find me anywhere over there. Also I'm on Instagram as well, and Twitter, but I mean I don't really use my Twitter that much for anything like this. That's just general me blabbering on about nothing, to be honest. But
that's all Twitter is.
Instagram is the best place to find me on social like that, really. But obviously YouTube and everything. So yeah, I mean the links and everything, I'll share with you all the links.
Yeah, I'll add them to the show description so people can find you.
That'd be really cool. Thank you. Really cool. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Nicky, and
thank you very
much. Stay in touch, and you're welcome back. It was
really nice to speak to you. Yeah,
really good to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please share it where you can. That's a great way to support the show. Another way to support us is by giving us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us out so much. Guys, if you've had any paranormal experiences, we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us. Email us at letsgetfreakypodcast@outlook.com, or you can reach us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and more at TC Let's Get Freaky Podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we'd love to have you as a guest on the show, so get in touch. Thank you so much. We'll be back very soon for more freaky conversations. In the meantime, stay safe, have a great week, have a great weekend, and keep it freaky. Bye for now.
Something's in your room, you can't move, you can't speak. It's a horrible feeling.
You know, you're looking out into the darkness and then you see a figure, but it's darker than the darkness.
I just get this like really creepy feeling, and I see this like shadowy, demon-looking figure in the front seat of the car.
She used to come into my room at night and stand right by my bed, and I just was petrified.
I remember I saw something fly by my bedroom window. We heard the bathroom door shut. So then we looked out my bedroom window down the hallway, and the bathroom door was wide open.
So we came around the bend and we saw eye shine. This thing stood up. I mean, it stood up. And it had high pointed ears. It had a snout, had a long arm, and it grabbed the deer.
So, what did you think? I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed doing it actually more than I thought it would, and that's no disrespect to Tommy or anything like that. I didn't mean it like that. I meant it in the sense of it's the first time I've ever been a guest on any podcast and done anything like that, and I strangely am quite a shy person. Now, you wouldn't think it because I've got YouTube, but because I've got YouTube, it's fine because it's just me sat here all on my own here talking to a camera. So I'm talking to you out there, yes you, but I can't see you, you can see me, but I can't see you. We're not interacting in that sort of way, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a bit different. But like I say, I'm a little bit shy, so I was quite nervous, to be honest, about doing the podcast. But because when I get nervous, I waffle quite a lot, I talk a lot. Ask my husband, he will tell you. First time we met, all I did was, I'm surprised that he just come back, I thought I was scared him off. Anyway, so I was kind of like a bit worried about doing it because of that reason. But it was good, it was cool. And I really enjoyed it. And Tommy made me feel so at ease because he's such a nice person and he's so laid back and so easy to talk to. It made it easier for me. It made it easy. Tommy, thank you. I appreciate it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear any more podcasts from me, you can literally, like I say, I will put my links down below and you can literally come along and, listen to me waffling about paranormal and reading ghost stories. It's a thing that I do now. I'm going to do some more visual podcasts for YouTube. So they would be I'm going to do some probably which are the same as my podcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to video myself doing a podcast, so it's visual for YouTube for you to watch, but it's also, I can use the audio also for my actual other podcasts, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, it makes sense in my head. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it today, and I apologise for taking so long to come back and from the dregs of the mojo-less life I've had recently. But hopefully I'm back now, and hopefully on my next video I'm going to play a horror game. And I think I will, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and look on Steam for some horror games, and I'm going to download some. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for my next video. Horror game next video. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you again on my next one. Enjoy your day, keep smiling, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.